Hello everyone, welcome to Ganit Academy. In this video, let us see irrational numbers in more detail. So in the last video, we have already studied about natural numbers, whole numbers, integers, rational numbers, irrational numbers, and we saw that rational numbers, irrational numbers together constitute real numbers. That means whichever point you are representing on a number line, that will be your real number. So what are these examples for the irrational numbers? So the numbers that cannot be written in this form, that is p divided by q, where p and q are integers and q not equal to 0, these are called as irrational numbers. Then if numbers can be written in this form, then what are they called as? They are called as rational numbers. You already know about rational numbers. So the examples of irrational numbers are square root of 2, square root of 3, square root of 5, square root of 7, square root of 11 and so on. So if you are taking the square root of any prime number, it will be irrational number. So not only prime numbers, you can also consider square root of 8, square root of 12, square root of 15. These are also irrational numbers. Why? Because square root of 8, it can be written as 2 square root of 2. Square root of 15, it can be written as square root of 5 into square root of 3. So these are all irrational numbers. 0 is a rational or irrational number? 0 is a rational number. Why? Because 0 can be written in the form of 0 divided by 1, where 0 is an integer, 1 is an integer and denominator is not equal to 0. Thus, 0 is a rational number. Now let us see some operations performed on the irrational number. Like what happens when you add two irrational numbers? Okay, tell me, minus square root of 2 is irrational or not? Yes, it is irrational number. So irrational numbers can be negative or positive. So now I will add square root of 2 with square root of 2. So I am adding an irrational number with an irrational number. So what are you getting? You are getting 2 square root of 2, which is again an irrational number. So now from this, don't conclude that whenever you add two irrational numbers, you are going to get an irrational number. No, that's not true. See, minus square root of 2 is also an irrational number. Now think what happens when you add square root of 2 with minus square root of 2. You will be getting 0. 0 is a rational number. So, whenever you add two irrational numbers, you may get a rational number or an irrational number. Now we will try to subtract two irrational numbers. Square root of 2 minus square root of 2, that is giving you 0. So, 0 is a rational number. Now if I subtract minus square root of 2 from square root of 2, minus square root of 2 is irrational. Square root of 2 is irrational. So now square root of 2 minus of minus square root of 2, that will be giving you 2 square root of 2, which is an irrational number. So if you subtract two irrational numbers, the result can be rational or irrational number. Now let us try to multiply two irrational numbers. Now I will take square root of 3 and square root of 5. So what happens when I multiply these two? Take the square root and bring the numbers inside it. So 3 into 5 is 15. So square root of 15. Is it a rational number or an irrational number? It is an irrational number. So the product here is irrational. So now don't come into conclusion. Okay. Now I will multiply square root of 2 with itself. So square root of 2 into square root of 2. Now what you can write? You can write it as 2. Right? So that becomes square root of 4. Square root of 4 is nothing but 2. 2 is nothing but rational number. Why? Because I can write it in the form 2 divided by 1. So it is a rational number. So the product of two irrational numbers can be irrational or rational. So now what happens if I divide two irrational numbers? Now I will take square root of 12 divided by square root of 4. What will be your answer? Square root of 12 can be written as square root of 3 into square root of 4 divided by square root of 4. The answer is square root of 3, which is nothing but an irrational number. Now what happens if I divide square root of 12 divided by square root of 3? So once again I can write it as square root of 3 and square root of 4 divided by square root of 3, which is giving you square root of 4. Square root of 4 is nothing but 2, which is a rational number. So now the division of two irrational numbers can give you either rational or irrational. So addition, subtraction, multiplication, division of two irrational numbers can give you the result as rational or irrational number. That means it may be rational number, it may be an irrational number. Now let us see the operations performed on rational and irrational number. So what happens if I add rational number with an irrational number? So 2 plus square root of 2. So here that will be giving you 2 plus square root of 2. Okay, so that will be your irrational number. What happens if I subtract rational and irrational numbers? 2 minus square root of 2. So once again that will be giving you irrational number. Then what happens if I divide a non-zero rational number, okay, and an irrational numbers? So I will take 2 divided by square root of 2. So that will be giving you square root of 2. Once again it is an irrational number. What happens if I multiply non-zero rational number and a irrational number? 2 into square root of 2, that will give you 2 square root of 2, nothing but square root of 8. This is an irrational number. So whatever you are going to do, you are going to get irrational number. Either you add or subtract. You will be getting irrational number. So rational number into irrational number, that will be giving you irrational number. Rational number plus irrational number, that will give you irrational number. Rational number minus irrational number, that will give you irrational number. Non-zero rational number divided by irrational number, that will also give you irrational number. So this is all about the operations performed on the irrational numbers.